The Disrupt Education vlog can be found on YouTube. To hear it in podcast form, search Disrupt Education on any of the following podcast platforms: Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Breaker, Castbox, Overcast, Radio Public, Pocket Cast, Spotify, or Stitcher. Welcome to this episode of Disrupt Education. I'm here with Udit and Desmond of Next Wave STEM. We are in Chicago in Spaces.
Yes.
In Lincoln Park, right?
Yeah.
Lincoln Park. Awesome. Thank you guys for being here.
Thanks
on the
for having
vlog and
us.
the podcast. Appreciate it. Let us know a little bit about who you are and basically who you guys are personally and what your educational path is, and then we'll step into Next Wave STEM.
Yeah, I'll start. My name is Udit Agarwal. I'm the founder and CEO of Next Wave STEM, Next Wave STEM is a startup that I started about 18 months ago with a vision to bring 21st century education into the classrooms and provide hands-on learning to the students on the areas that are big right now, and it will be even bigger as the career paths is changing and the job market is changing. So that's a little bit about what we do, what Next Wave STEM is.
What's your path? How did you get to being the CEO of a company? Right?
So I came here when I was 16. Went to Glenbard North.
Yeah.
I was an ESL student, and when I first came, it was just a new world for me, and I didn't know what I wanted to do. As a kid, I wanted to be a pilot.
Yeah. Okay.
But in reality, when I came here, it was just such a new experience. I was learning so many cool things, and at that time, I just wanted to explore. I just wanted to get my hands on as many things and just build my skill set. And when the time came to go to college, it was one of the toughest decisions as far as, now what do I want to do?
Right.
What am I going to college for? Coming from an Indian family, they wanted me to do something in healthcare. So just to keep my parents happy in the beginning, I'm like, okay, I'll go to NIU, try to do nursing. And first year I go there, I take my first biology class, 101. I'm like scared. I'm like, this is not for me. And so after first year, I am, I'm just thinking like, damn, what do I do now?
Right.
And I feel like that's a position a lot of freshman students are in a lot of times, is just not knowing or seeing college firsthand experience and then realizing, okay, who am I? Like, what do I really want to do now, right? Now that I've gotten 1 year of college under the belt. And then I started exploring other majors and trying to, talk to myself like, okay, what is it really I want to do, and what's my passion? And so I go back to, what my dad did. So he's an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And I've seen him running his business since I was like 10. He will take me to his shop and make me do pretty much, whatever he needs help with. And I really like that because it gave me really the real world experience in a small setting, in a family type of business. And then I came across, College of Business at NIU. Yeah. And I'm like, you know what? I think this might be a good fit. I want to really kind of check this out and see what I can learn from it. And then, typically go the corporate route initially. I kind of did knew that I wanted to be an entrepreneur, but I just didn't know. It was too early to even know like what an entrepreneurship would look like in the States. Yeah, right. Not knowing that many entrepreneurs and what it would take to really be successful doing it. Now, one of the fortunate things for me was when I was in college, my brother had already graduated, and he was trying to go the entrepreneur path as well. So now I got to kind of hang out with him and help him set up his businesses, and watch him fail multiple times. And so that just kind of made my journey easier, because now I know what not to do. Which is the you know,
let somebody else fail.
Yeah, let somebody else fail, but as long as I can, you know, learn something from it and see where it went wrong. Right. So I was really fortunate enough to be able to see that and then take that and apply to where my passion is. So after college, my first job out of college was at Chicago Public Schools.
Oh wow! Okay.
End up in the education system. Last thing probably I would have thought of that I would be in the education system, but I really truly enjoyed my experience there on just seeing how the education system kind of behind the scenes. And be able to work on a lot of cool projects that were impacting hundreds and thousands of students and schools. It's the third largest school district in the country, and just being around, you know, some of the awesome leadership, and just learning from there, and then I think that's kind of what sparked my interest into education. Is this is a really fulfilling experience, and you know.
I mean, if you follow your path, you're looking at, okay, so maybe the nursing route was taking care, healthcare was taking care of people. However, you merge your entrepreneurship skills into actually teaching others, which is another form of helping others. So very cool, very cool. I'm going to step over to Desmond and tell us a little bit about you and your path to Next Wave STEM.
Sure. So I'm a little bit different than Udit's story, but actually some interesting similarities. Born and raised in Detroit. I'm still newish to the Chicagoland area, but my formal training and background is in engineering, actually. And the interesting backstory to that is pretty good in math and science in school. Went to a pretty good public high school, actually a really good public high school in Detroit, and got to the senior year and was thinking, okay, what do I want to do? When I was younger, I actually did want to teach, but both my parents are educators.
Okay, there we go.
They taught for decades in Detroit public schools. Something that they said to me at the time was, hey, Desmond, don't go into teaching.
My father said the same thing, exact same thing.
The thought processes there were, it's not lucrative enough. Which I completely understood. So I decided to apply myself towards math and science. I literally looked in U.S. News and World Report and said, okay, which degree pays the most as an undergrad? When you're done, it was engineering. So University of Michigan College of Engineering, really good school. Let's go. Third year of the program, was going through and realized that if I do not pursue my passion to teach, I'm really not going to be enjoying my career prospects. So I finished the degree, and upon finishing the degree, I make a complete turn. Start my own tutoring and test prep business in Detroit. Was doing that for years, and I got connected with a startup based in Evanston. So for a while I was working at distance with the startup, moved to the Chicagoland area, got married, and really found with the startup I was working with, I was doing curriculum development and also a lot of lesson planning, lots of content design in the K through 2 engineering educational space. But had an opportunity with Next Wave STEM to really expand beyond just the K through 2, but think about the entire education pipeline. So for me, it's different than Udit's story because I'm not a child of immigrants. I kind of born into our public school system in a lot of ways. But also family is so important. You find a passion, you're shaped through your journey, and you find something that you love to do, and really as much as you might be doing other things, you might find yourself pulled back to it. So I'm here at Next Wave STEM as the program coordinator, liaisoning between our instructors, teaching, having a chance to train other teachers in professional development and curriculum training, still doing curriculum development, wearing a bunch of different hats. And having lots of fun.
So let's expand on that, because I think both of you all are really, really interested in changing the way that we learn through some technology and in all different ways. A lot of hands-on things with Next Wave STEM. One of the things, I've done a very small class with Desmond. You came in one day because you're like the CEO.
No.
So, no, I'm just teasing. But our students really attached to it, and it was hands-on training. Let me ask you this: what ways do you see education changing? Right. So you've seen it in a couple of countries, which is very, very powerful. You mentioned even entrepreneurship in India is likely different than it is here in the United States. And also you've seen some parallels as well. So from, we both have parents that are teachers. My father actually grew up in Detroit, so still a Southside Sox fan. So I just want to leave that there. But so what does that look like? How do you all see education changing? Or in your case, different in the United States right now, because I feel like we're going through this revolution, and this tangible learning that Next Wave STEM brings is very, very effective with our young people. Comments on that? What are you thinking, and how do you see that you are riding or actually kind of heading up that change a little bit of the tangible learning? So tell us a little bit about Next Wave STEM and how that goes.
Yeah, so our focus is on the 21st century skills. So, and a lot of this is just me coming out of college and discovering things that I wish I had.
Yeah.
And I kind of brought a lot of those into Next Wave STEM, and just knowing my friends and colleagues, what their challenges were in the real world. Mm-hmm. How can we make education more practical so it's more relevant when you're coming out of college?
Right.
When you're coming out of the school system, so you're better prepared for the market, essentially, right? And the way I see it is like drone market. Mm-hmm. There's millions of jobs out there right now, currently, and not a lot of preparation for the workforce in that area.
Right.
And we have all this awesome talent out there, people looking for jobs. But then there's an area where we don't have people that are, prepared for those type of, specific skill set where the jobs are. Mm-hmm. So just making it more relevant. Mm-hmm. So we have, workforce ready for where the jobs are going to be. Mm-hmm. 3D printing being another one. I wish I learned 3D printing when I finished my education. Mm-hmm. And just knowing once I hit the real world, I'm like, wow, 3D printing.
Yeah.
This is a game changer. There's so much potential out here, and I wish I learned it.
Right.
So just kind of looking at it from that perspective, and really bringing that relevance, more relevant education that's hands-on, builds, working in teams, learning to fail without fear.
Yeah.
I think that's one thing for me was I didn't fear to fail. And I think that's another thing that component we bring into our courses is you're failing without really knowing, but it's teaching you this important skill where you keep trying until you succeed.
Yeah.
Which I think is very powerful.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've actually seen that. We had a conversation before the second week after you left, Desmond, and our students. They were failing all over the place, but they were smiles, So that tangible 21st century learning is that. So how do you see it a little bit differently than coming from, Detroit? Obviously, we're in the same region, but since you and I'm a little older, I'm going to guess. But how do you see education changing, even from the time that you got out of school and then what you're doing now?
Sure. What Uda said about the 21st century skills is so important because I think, that sounds good. It rolls off the tongue. People will say that as a catchphrase. What that really means is that the playbook for how you go about your educational path into your career has honestly been thrown out the window. For a lot of times, school, K through 8, then 9 through 12, seemed rote path into a blue collar job, rote path into a white collar job if you did a traditional 4-year university. What we've seen with emerging technology is everything, well, it's quite a phrase, get disrupted.
Yeah. Right.
Everything that we thought about, the ways of going about sustainable career, even our thought processes for what a sustainable career, whether that's in one position or multiple positions over the course of a working career, is changing.
Yeah.
And emerging technology is a great way to, one, democratize our access for all learners.
Yes.
More and more, it's becoming easier for students from all kinds of different backgrounds, all kinds of different socioeconomic statuses to get hands-on with the technology and get a foot in the door. There's still lots of work to be done when it comes to resources, when it comes to networks, when it comes to an opportunity to get hands-on with this technology, but that's part of why we exist.
Yeah.
So what we're really seeing now is not even reinventing the playbook, but being able to run multiple plays for multiple different situations.
And that's such a big piece of actually why I'm in Disrupt Education, because in this paradigm shift of what we're seeing with these 21st century skills and the access now, we're letting people know what they don't know, right?
Yeah.
And through drones and even 3D printing and those types of things, what you all do at Next Wave STEM is amazing, and I've seen it hands-on where students are just taking it and working with teams and enjoying it, right? And failing, and it's funny to say that, right? They're failing,
right?
But it is an amazing.
It's not always painful.
No, right?
No.
No. And so, tell us where you would like to see, where you think education is going to change even more, and then what's next for Next Wave STEM.
Yeah.
Those are two big questions.
Very big. I want to say, for us, we're going to be, the way we see education now that we have, started Next Wave STEM with a few programs, our goal is to keep adding more relevant programs. Like AI is huge right now. We're exploring that side of, things and how to integrate it into the classrooms. And few other areas, where again the jobs are going to be, and the whole more emerging technologies,
right,
where that's all headed. Automation is huge right now. It's going to be even bigger.
Basically, what you're doing right now is you're going to take drones and you're going to. What I'm hearing is you're just going to. Okay, we're going to go here and here and here. It's interesting because I feel like we can do this at a younger age.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people understand that our youth are actually able to do this.
Yeah, like same path like Drone 101 program, then 201 program as you progress from middle school to high school.
Right.
Making it more standard into the education system.
Yeah.
Instead of more just like an after school program or just like optional.
Right.
We see it more being it more part of the education.
Yeah. What do you think is next for education?
Really excited to see emerging technology descend downwards when we think of age and outward when we think of discipline.
Yeah.
One thing that people talk about all the time is the importance of project-based learning and how these disciplines and emerging technologies span into civics, span into history, span into mathematics. And all these things are being brought together in some really amazing, really flexible ways. Yeah. I'm excited to see kind of those subject silos start to melt away a little bit as there's more project-based learning. Udit hit it right on the head when it comes to Next Wave STEM. Our goal is to expand into these other emerging technologies, especially AI. I'm really excited about that.
Yeah.
Our 3D printing is also becoming really, really robust. I'm super excited for where that's going. But also figuring out more and more ways that we can empower teachers. Yeah. So if we can provide teachers with the tools in curricula and professional development, making connections with educators, making connections with administrators, making connections with curriculum developers. That's the kind of thing that allows us to hit those different spheres of influence and eventually start to see change happen in one student, one school, one district, and going more and more from there.
And to that point, as an educator, the program that we went through is very just the tip of the iceberg, but it was fun as an educator just to play with your students, right? And I think that's something that I was failing in front of them too. I actually, at the beginning of the class, I think I told you this, I flew a drone across the room and said, hey, these guys are coming, and I crashed it into the wall.
You're not a real drone pilot until you fly directly into the wall.
Okay, so I become a drone pilot. But that it's fun for us as well as educators. So where can people find you?
On our website, it's nextwavestem.com. So it's nextwave, WAVE, stem.com. That's where all the cool stuff and all our information is.
Awesome. Gentlemen, thank you so much. We appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
And
appreciate it.
Just y'all want to check out Next Wave STEM. We worked with them at my high school. Actually in our district, and it's fun learning. They have a whole bunch of different options, even more coming every day, which I'm excited about. The AI, some 3D printing and different things like that. So we'll put all their information up as well as underneath our stuff here on the podcast and the vlog. Thank you so much for watching this episode or listening to Disrupt Education. We'll talk to you next time.